Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Seoul American High School graduating class of 2015. Although graduation is not this type of event, I would like to start off the ceremony with some vows. Will everyone please raise their right hand? Take their cell phones out and repeat after me. I promise to silence my cell phone for the duration of this ceremony. Thank you. Audience, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Seoul American High School Color Guard and the singing of both the Korean and American National Anthem by the Seoul American High School Show Choir. You may now be seated. Please welcome to the podium our senior class recording secretary, Connie Rose Barnes, and our treasurer, Thomas Kim.
Major General Dillon, Major General Pooster, Colonel Oaf, Command Sergeant Major Hodgkins, Michelle Thompson, the one that made this all possible, our special guest from Dodia, Director Mr. Brady, Korea District Superintendent Dr. Allen, Principal of Seoul American High School, Ms. Rice, Assistant Principal Ms. Grazak, Seoul American Elementary Administration, Dr. Catherine Eureka, and one of our favorite substitutes, Mr. Eureka, Dr. Jacqueline Ashmore, Mr. Edgar Romero, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, friends and family. Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. On behalf of the class of 2015, I would like to welcome all of you here for the 55th Seoul American High School graduation.
안녕하세요. 저는 2015년 클래스를 대신해 서울 미국 고등학교 제55회 졸업식에 참석해 주신 교직원, 사무직원, 그리고 모든 가족분들께 감사의 말씀을 드립니다.
I wish to extend a warm welcome to friends and family that traveled long distances to be here today.
멀리서 찾아와 주신 가족분들과 친구분들을 따뜻한 마음으로 환영합니다.
As you know, we seniors have worked extremely hard throughout the 4 years of high school in order to graduate, and it is an honor to have all of you here to celebrate this great achievement.
저희 졸업반은 지난 4년 동안 졸업을 하기 위해서 모두가 열심히 학업에 열중하였고 그 결과 저희 모두가 이렇게 영광스러운 자리에 있을 수 있었습니다.
I wish the guests a very pleasant time, and with that, I would like to announce the start of the graduation ceremony for the Seoul American High School class of 2015.
저는 지금 이 자리에 참석해 주신 모든 분들이 매우 유익한 시간이 되기를 바라며 지금부터 2015년 서울 미국 고등학교 졸업식 시작을 알려드리겠습니다.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
Now, can we please welcome my good friend and one of my most stingiest friends, David Neverett, Seoul American High School Student Body President, to the podium for opening remarks.
You know, I have a confession to make. I've gone through my whole high school career without actually writing a speech and presenting it. All of my public speaking has been kind of done impromptu, and my grade in APEN kind of suffered for that. Thank you, Mr. Clausen. But I did finish my speech today, actually this morning, so I'm sorry if you lost that bet. And I'd just like to start off by welcoming the parents, families, friends, faculty, random guy in the back who just snuck in without a ticket, teachers, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2015. I'd also like to thank whoever let me speak today. It's probably a choice that you are going to regret. You know, when I first had the opening speech, I was quite happy. I know from experience of sitting where you are that this event, despite its magnitude, becomes very boring as it progresses. And the only speech where everyone actually pays attention to is the first one. I also know that if I mess up, or if the speech becomes really boring over the next 4 minutes, none of you guys are going to remember it because there's no one to compare me to at this point. And I just wanted to begin this speech as I began my high school career, in Mr. Fracker's geometry class my freshman year. Now, many of you may or may not know that this place is called a blue square. I'm not sure which bright young Korean architect decided to call it this, but this is a blue square. This is more of a cube. And, you know, I just wanted that differentiation of shapes to serve as a testament to the fact that I did not sleep through the entire year of Mr. Fracker's geometry class. No, I only slept through a semester and a half. I paid attention for the first 2 weeks. I know my shapes. Okay. I also need to apologize to whoever I gave graduation invites to. I'm pretty sure at least 70% of them have either the wrong date or the wrong venue on them. Let me explain. It's not entirely my fault. You see, graduation has been changed 3 times. 3. Come on, senior class officers. If I may so boldly quote Coach Boyd, where is your head? 3. That number is so high it surpasses David Hahn's GPA. All jokes aside, this is a gorgeous venue, and I know the senior class officers have put in countless hours with logistics, trips, meetings, and so many other behind-the-scene moments, so could you please join me now in giving them a much-earned round of applause. In my eyes, there's another group of people who deserve a round of applause. I'm usually against thank yous in a graduation speech because you tend to miss someone, but I think it would be remiss, no pun intended, Mr. Clausen, if I did not take time to acknowledge these people publicly. So, Mom, thank you for not overparenting me and giving me the space to find the value of self-discipline. I don't say this often enough in the house, so I hope this makes up for it. I love you. Dad, thanks for giving me a strong example of what good leadership is and teaching me the value of character. In a world encumbered by cynicism, it's refreshing to meet a guy who approaches everything with a positive perspective. To my baby sister, Yanni. Right? She's not even paying attention. Yanni. To my baby sister, Yanni. Thank you for keeping me humble. No matter who I debate in MUN or what accolades I bring home, I can never convince you to change the TV channel. I've come to like Frozen. It kind of grows on you after the 36th, 37th, 107th time that you've watched it. To my little brother, Johnny. Thank you for teaching me perspective, big man. After trying to teach you long division, I've come to realize how easy AP classes are. To my older brother, Mike. Thanks for showing up, dude. After watching your sleeping patterns for the past 2 weeks, your attendance here was coming under serious questionability. And lastly, to the students of Seoul American High School, thank you for letting me serve as your student body president. It has been a privilege. A lot of people were giving me stick about me starting my speech this morning, but technically, I started my speech 2 months ago when I had this approved by the PTSO. And my last action as acting student body president is a $1,000 scholarship in conjunction with the SAS PTSO. In order to be eligible for this, you must have attended SAS for this school year. And that last part was in bold, so I know it's important. So this is how they explained it to me. There are 2 yellow envelopes in this auditorium right now. The first one is in the crowd. I think it's taped to like the left side of your seat. And the second one is taped under one of the graduate seats. So if you guys want to see who actually got the scholarship right now. Yeah, I'm kidding. If you haven't figured out, there's no scholarship. This brings me to my last topic, memories. Memories like the one we just created. These past few days have been quick-paced, event after event, and activity after activity. Dr. Seuss once said, sometimes you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Class of 2015, I encourage you not to let today become that. If you find just a few seconds to assimilate what is going on around you, and I think Josh Rebel's speech is an appropriate time to zone out, but if you find those few seconds to reflect, it'll make the rest of today that much more special. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's ceremony.
Among the class of 2015, we usually have an unspoken rule. It's usually to not let David speak first, because he sets the bar really high. But let's give another round of applause to David Nevith. And how about another round of applause for the Seoul American High School String Ensemble as they perform the prayer by Sage and Foster.
Thank you. Saw a string ensemble, everyone. Okay, up next is one of the strangest yet smartest and most surprising people I know, Joshua Rebel, known to his friends as Josh, J-Reb, Shreb, Shrevel, and most interestingly, Hodor. He is that person you need by your side when you begin to question your sanity and the meaning of life. He's been with me through insane amounts of homework, college apps, and cross-country horror runs. And in the time that I've been here, I can easily say that Josh is one of the closest friends that I have. I'll miss you, Josh, as we both head off to military academies this summer, although we both know the Air Force Academy is better. So please, everyone, please give a warm round of applause for Class of 2015's salutatorian, Joshua Rebel.
Good afternoon, friends, family, faculty, distinguished guests, friends of family, friends of friends of family, family of friends, friends of faculty, family of faculty, friends of family of faculty, friends of friends, and pretty much everyone else who decided to show up today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I would like to welcome you on board SAHS Airlines Flight 2015 with the destination to your future. Flight duration is approximately 2 hours, and we are expecting a fairly smooth flight with little chance of turbulence. Once again, we thank you for choosing to fly with our airlines today, and we hope you enjoy your flight. Located to your left and right are the emergency exits in case I get too boring. A life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. Do use them wisely. As Mara put it so nicely, I'm Joshua Rebel, and I am the salutatorian for the class of 15, or 2015. I don't know, neither of them really roll that well. I mean, we're not 86, we're not 49. I mean, that would have been awesome. But to satisfy everyone's needs, I can make up a few interesting ones. For those math geeks in the theater, we are the class of root 225, right? Or for those of you who like the more complex ones, Mr. Yi, shout out to you, the class of derivative of 15x. Or for those of you who are less inclined to the delights of math, Mr. Kennedy, who sadly is only here in spirit but not in his great and outstanding physical form, the class of 10 plus 5. Before I get into anything special, I would like to give a shout out to a few people in the crowd today. First, I would like to thank my mother for being the typical tiger mom but lightening up a little. First and second, I would like to thank our teachers for always being there. Resounding hoorah from the senior class would be nice every time I thank someone. I would like to thank Mr. Woodruff for always being there, allowing for students such as myself time to rush into the library with our curling irons and Starbucks coffee in our hands, frantically trying to finish that iSearch paper for Mr. Clausen. Mr. Clausen, thank you for always being there at the right place at the right time and properly saying, not like, whenever a poor and unfortunate soul managed to slip it into conversations. Thank you, T. Miss Kim, for being one of the most real friends, always there to beatbox with me in AP Government or to give me the fist bumps or high fives in class. Thank you, Coach Boyd, for enlightening us with beautiful stories and laughing so that the whole JROTC building can hear it. I can now safely say I can write a study on the contagiosity of laughs. Thank you, Mr. Bittner, for teaching me the importance of actually learning rather than just getting an A. Thank you, Starbucks, for keeping people awake in class. Subway, I cannot stress this enough. Subway, thank you for always being there. And this is kind of shameless, but a shout out to my sponsor. Don't stand on the people who let Google stand insurance. Real people working for you since 1964. It's really been an honor to stay up late last night to write this speech and have to read it in front of a crowd of people greater than the number of minutes Thomas Kim has played in the whole soccer season. But in Thomas's defense, we all know that Thomas should have gone to Far East over David Hahn. But in true AP procrastination fashion, I wrote my speech in the late hours of the night, when the only sounds that could be heard were my father's snores. I then began to realize that the speech wasn't a duty, but actually a blessing in disguise. I realized I could literally write a speech about anything, as long as it was deemed appropriate. I could have written a persuasive speech on why the name of this school should be changed to the Joshua Rebel Institute for the Future Leaders of the World. Or I could have just read my favorite novel, Literary Merit, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. I mean, I dolphinately could have used puns. No one could stop me and krill my thunder. But then, when I was informed I wouldn't be getting our diplomas until after the ceremony, I just decided to keep it normal. So, now many of you think you won't see any of these people again, but in fact, Seoul American High School will always be here, and if it's not here, it's in our hearts. And chances are you'll come back sometime in the future. Chances are you're sitting beside our next doctors, Christine Jin, our next business leaders, Thomas Kim, our next teachers, Glenisha Berryman, our next WASPs, Courtney Taylor and Mariah Meredith, keep them wings buzzing, or our next ruthless dictator-like lawyers, David Nevereth. We will still see the faces of true despairs as students exit Mrs. Obermeit's classroom after taking the AP Literature mock exam. And we will still hear the soothing sounds of the band classes from Miss Gleaves' room. Saws will forever be saws. But despite everything, high school is like a lollipop. It looks sweet from the outside, takes forever to get through after many attempts of licking it, sucks until the end, but overall, you're going to miss it when it's gone. However, today's not the day to be sad, the day where girls have their mascara streaked across their face after sobbing unrelentlessly, or the day where we finally get to add Mr. Clausen on Facebook. That is a big accomplishment you don't understand. No, this is the day marking a new phase in our life. This is only the beginning. Remember how I used that really lame airplane introduction earlier? Yes? No? Well, regardless, I did. Now I'd hate to be plain, but there's a reason for that. Life is like boarding an airplane. When you take a taxi or a bus to the airport, those are your toddler years. The years where you get exposed to the environment that awaits you. The point when you check in and receive your tickets is reflective of your elementary school years, when all you do is stand in line, wanting to be first, waiting as obnoxious people cut you and steal your candy. Getting past security is like your middle school years. The years when, well, things just don't go right. Your body changed, your mind changed, your fashion changed, your life changed. But you know, just like the security check, although it may have sucked, it was only a prelude to something better, or in the case of the long plane rides back to the States that most of us will be taking in the coming months, something worse. But seriously, we haven't even experienced life yet. The coming seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, and years of our lives will be the plane ride with the destination of the land of dreams. There's no set time that this flight takes because it's up to you to reach your dreams and goals. There's only one pilot of that plane, and it's you. Every decision you make will bring you one step closer or farther away from your dreams. This is a day we all should be enthralled and mystified by the unlimited potential of the class of 2015. Every single one of these people, individualist freethinkers, have their dreams and hopes only a fingertip away waiting to be grasped. My advice to every single one of you today, while cliche, should be taken to heart. Stand up for whatever you believe in, even if you're not the only one. Even if you are the only one. It only takes one person to change the world. Leave your mark wherever you go, even if that place is the road less traveled. And most importantly, don't sweat the small stuff. Do as you please, because having fun is the most important thing in your life. After all, nobody makes it out alive anyway, so you may as well have fun doing the small things that you enjoy in life while you can. We weren't put on this earth for a long time. We were put on this earth to have a good time. And finally, in the wise words of my grandfather, remember this. God has given us all two ends, one to think with and the other to sit on. Our success depends on which end we use the most. Heads you win, tails you lose. Stay fresh, stay young, and most importantly, stay classy, Saws. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilot. And now it is my absolute honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker for this occasion, Colonel Maria P. Oaf, Commander of United States Army Yongsan, Garrison Yongsan. She leads a team responsible for providing base operation functions and for setting the conditions to transfer Yongsan Garrison to the Republic of Korea government. She is a logistics officer with a master's degree in national security and strategic studies and national resource strategy. Colonel Oaf has held leadership positions from company to brigade level and has served in a combat in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. She is a senior parachutist, a spouse, and a mother. She is also the first female garrison commander of USAG Yongsan. Not only is she a role model to us all, but she is also the epitome of servant leadership. I've had the great pleasure to work closely with her over this past year, and undoubtedly, this graduation ceremony would not be possible without the unwavering support of Colonel Oaf and her staff. Whether you've listened to her at school functions, spoken with her one-on-one, or have just seen her around the post, it is impossible to be unaffected by her enthusiastic spirit and absolute passion for this community. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce to you our keynote speaker, Colonel Maria Oaf.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Glenisha, for that introduction. Good afternoon, Major General Dillon, Major General Puster, Mr. Brady, Dr. Allen, Ms. Rice, faculty, family, friends, and of course, the Seoul High School graduating class of 2015. Thank you for asking me to speak today during the special occasion. I'm truly honored and very humbled that you asked me to be part of this special occasion. And I'm fully aware that given the excitement about what the future holds, most of the graduates may rarely remember a single word uttered by their commencement speaker. However, it is tradition to have a speech, and I will be hopeful that you'll remember two things from my very brief speech. First of all, you are all called to be a leader. And second, the acronym CLIF, which I'll explain later. First off, congratulations to our graduates for accomplishing this goal. You should be all very proud of yourselves. Dr. Allen, Ms. Rice, thanks to you and all of the staff and faculty of Seoul American High School for your commitment to these graduates, for providing them with a solid educational foundation upon which they will build, and for expanding their horizons so that they can realize their full potential as they navigate through their fulfilling life. To the graduates' families, congratulations to you as well. Your support has made a significant impact in preparing your young man or your young woman for his or her life's journey. Please join me in a round of applause for these families. Graduation from high school is one of those coming-of-age moments in your life, the end of one significant period and the transition to a new and progressive one. In the period that follows, you will continue to be an achiever, a doer, but you will also be called to become a leader. I am confident that most of you have a firm idea or plan of what you want to do next. Some of you have a pretty good idea of what you want to do next. And others of you are just simply amazed that you made it to graduation. Regardless of where you fall in the spectrum, you have a lifetime of excitement and adventures awaiting you. Along the way, you will conquer many challenges as you turn dreams into reality. You will experience trials and tribulations, but at the end of the day, your life's outcome is up to you. You will serve as an example for others on what you can accomplish. I said earlier that you will be leaders. Leadership is strength of character and action. Leadership defines success. Leadership is the destiny of the graduate, and leadership will determine your legacy. My leadership philosophy revolves around a framework that I consistently apply in my personal professional life. Now, this next statement is going to sound somewhat textbook and dry, but I think it's important to hear. Leadership is effective when integrity is applied through disciplined processes, making an enduring and influential impression that permeates relationships with those you lead. The next 5 components of my leadership philosophy can be summed up in an acronym CLIF. And as you know, as a military community, we always talk in acronyms. So the C in CLIF is for consistency. The use of disciplined and deliberate words and actions found in core values that encourage growth within a positive working and living environment. The L stands for learning, continuous learning through informal or formal education and through experience. And learning through open communication, which requires being candid, open-minded, confident, and transparent. Ultimately, the goal is to achieve your maximum capability through continuous learning. The I is for integrity. It is the cornerstone of success, whether it's personal integrity or the overall integrity of an organization. It is the strong moral foundation which guides your thoughts, your words, and your actions. It defines who you are, the intent of doing what is right according to our core values. We're not perfect, but it is the effort in doing the right thing that counts. The F is for family. Family is a metaphor for relationships and interdependence. As a collective unit, each is a part of a whole and is therefore dependent or has an effect on other parts. And the final F stands for faith. Faith plays two roles in my leadership philosophy. Faith is the element that connects and reinforces integrity and discipline. It serves as my guide to being accountable for my actions by ensuring that I remain as ethical and as pure in my intent. And second, faith is having the confidence to achieve and attain your goal, a resident requirement that affects every area of my leadership philosophy. Having faith in yourself and having faith in others gives you the wherewithal to overcome challenges. So, CLIF, consistency, learning, integrity, family, and faith. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now armed with the most important tool in your life, and that's your education. The high school diploma that you will soon hold in your hand is symbolic of the fact that your future is in your hands. Therefore, seize this opportunity. This class is destined for greatness, with students like Jasmine Harris and Deldrick Brasher, who are published authors in their respective fields of photography and special education. Future leaders, whether in the military or entrepreneurs, like David Navareth, David Davison, Kayla Foytno, Glenisha Berriman, Joe Peck-Bliznik, Christian Scruggs, and Anvu. Inspirational people like Sebastian Cribbs and Brenda Guzman, whose personal examples exude unlimited possibilities. And Sam Norman, whose strength and resilience can be attributed to the memory of his father, Captain Michael Norman, a former USAG Yongsan HHC commander who gave his life to ensure freedom of Iraq. Falcon Class of 2015, today is a key step towards a successful future. Stay focused, stay strong, stay inspired. Let me leave you with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Again, congratulations. My family joins me in wishing you, the graduates, all the best in your future with an abundance of blessings. Yongsan strong, and don't fall off the cliff.
Colonel Ove, thank you for accepting this invitation to speak at our graduation and for giving us those inspiring words. On behalf of the class of 2015, please accept this small token of our gratitude and appreciation.
And now please join us for a musical performance by the Seoul American High School Show Choir performing For Good.
People come.
Thank you for that beautiful performance. Let's give the show choir another round of applause.
Hello? Whew. Okay. Before I begin the next part, I'd just like to remind all of you that I will be giving autographs after graduation in the lobby. So, I couldn't really think of a way to describe Mara Brown, the valedictorian, so I used an acrostic poem, and yes, Mr. Clausen, it is a form of poetry. So, M stands for magisterial, A, alacritus, R, resilient, A, awesome, B, bombastic, R, radiant, O, outlaw, W, witty, and O, I must have been talking about myself, narcissistic. Sorry. These are just a few words that describe the valedictorian of the class of 2015, Mara Brown. Mara moved here at the start of our junior year, and I got to know her pretty well. And it's safe to say that we're pretty close friends. And to be honest, it's been great. She's been a great friend and invited me to my first real taste of adversity, which was Coach Madden's summer cross-country training. Now, I know not many of you know that feeling, but let's just say it pretty much ruined any positive thoughts I had about running. Mara could usually be found on mornings in the library, either procrastinating on her homework or sleeping. Mara will forever be etched in school history not only as the valedictorian, but also as a great person, human, and an ever better Falcon. So, let's give our undivided attention and a round of applause for this fantastic Falcon, Mara Brown.
Okay, guys. After that song and Josh's sweet intro, I'm a little emotional right now. I would be crying like Connie, but I'm not wearing waterproof mascara, so I cannot. So here goes. Good afternoon, classmates, parents, grandparents, underclassmen, faculty, and honorable guests. Again, I had a lot of trouble coming up with a speech. Truly, I didn't finish it until last night, and it wasn't exactly what I had planned. Originally, I thought making a speech would be fun. At the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a valedictorian. I get to give a speech. And then last weekend, I'm like, I may have to fail a couple exams. I'm not ready for this. So I'll be brief. After me, we get our diplomas. I know there's nothing in them. And that's not an excuse so that I didn't have to write as much, I promise. But while I'm up here, I may as well use my power. So first I would start off by thanking the important people in my life. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. Without their constant nagging and support, I would not be here today. I literally would not be here. My mom had to come into my room 3 times this morning to wake me up. Thanks, Isabella, my little sister. She's not here today because she's napping. I guess that's important. She kept me entertained through high school. When I ever got too stressed or overworked, I just came outside, played a little game with her. That seems to work sometimes, I guess. And thank you, God, for letting me pass high school. Thank you for answering my prayers every time I thought I flunked a test, and I didn't. Thank you. As you can see, I'm here graduating today. Graduating is exciting. A lot of us are in the process of preparing for college, picking classes, choosing roommates, getting loans. This is an invigorating time, and we're all waiting to get out of the house and start our own lives. We're working towards becoming independent and learning about life outside of school. We want to make our own decisions and be our own people, but it's important to look back on where we've come from and what we're leaving behind. On the first day of junior year, I walked into school scared out of my mind. I was new to SAWS and had skipped the new student orientation. I, being the smart person I am, thought I could get by without having to be shown around. Little did I know that SAWS is spread around multiple buildings, some behind other buildings. I grabbed my first schedule and looked at my first period. I had APEN with Clausen in room 903. I looked around and I thought I had somehow missed the staircase to 8 other floors. I remember basically being completely lost, and I stood there thinking, I have to talk to someone. I need someone to show me where to go. So I walked up to a random group of people and asked for directions. I was greeted by Daniel Vanest, who isn't here today, but is one of my very close friends. He showed me the way. He showed me around all day because we actually had the exact same schedule. I will miss the kindness that the students of SAWS have for one another. I will miss the diversity of personalities that everyone has within SAWS. Everyone is so different, and intensely so, that it's almost shocking how well we get along. I will miss all the people who I came to know as my friends. I will miss Lue for making me write this speech and doing my homework, without whom I would just be standing up here. Courtney and Joe Pock for being the school photographers and making us look cool, especially when we're doing sports. Although, for those of you who have not seen J-Reb's cross-country face, you know Courtney's talents only go so far. Jisoo for her ability to spot a roast within a compliment. The Haywood and Rio duo for being everyone's favorite couple and not being some stereotypical prom king and queen. I love you guys. And Amber and Tony for being the sweetest people in this entire school. You two could brighten the most stressful and homework-filled days. Graduating here in Korea is a lot different than graduating in a school in the States. For a lot of us, this will be our last time in Korea. Many of our families will PCS this summer, and we will probably never venture to the great ROK again. Today is the last day the class of 2015 will sit in one room together. We aren't all going to the same colleges or colleges that are in the same vicinity of each other. We're all going our separate ways and will join the rest of the world in adulthood. We will grow and mature and change. And yet, despite the fact that the greatest class of SAWS is graduating, some things about SAWS will never change. While we are slaving away in the adult world, the heater in the SAWS library will still be 20 degrees too warm. Students will continue to take the best naps of their lives there, and girls will constantly question whether or not they are going through menopause early. I thought I was having heat flashes for the first couple weeks. The bathrooms in the art building will always smell kind of off, and it will spill into the hallway. Students will continue to try to ignore it, but it is there, folks, and it is scary. Students will continue to think off-campus lunches are a good idea until they start gaining 10 pounds. And then they won't stop because packing is so much work. And the cafeteria serves portions for kindergartners. Students in Mr. Bittner's class will continue to wonder whether or not what he just said is sarcasm. Students will continue to finish their 15-page Clausen essay 20 minutes before it's due and then misplace their rubric. DJ, I'm talking to you. That's not a good idea. High school was fun, and I'm really going to miss it. It was a safe environment we needed to go through all of our weird phases. So weird. After today, we will join the 91% of Americans our age that holds a high school diploma. This means we have an economic advantage over an entire 9% of America. We're pretty prepared for success, if I must say so myself. Other people view SAWS kids a lot like the way Americans view Russians. We sound like we're angry at each other, but we're actually just expressing our own kind of endearment. We say things outsiders think is rude and insensitive, yet we never actually mean it. So, graduates of 2015, as you walk across that stage and receive your diploma, I may be clapping and cheering you on, but deep down inside, I'm just waiting for someone to trip. Parents, I promise that was a joke. Please do not hate me. I love all of your children. But thank you, graduates, for making this year amazing. I'm truly going to miss SAWS and all of you. Thank you. Okay, you guys probably all thought you were done with me. Not yet. No. There are some very important people that I left out of my speech, and we cannot go today without recognizing them. So I would like to ask our corresponding secretary, Daniel Salazar, to join me in recognizing our teachers and parents. Okay. On this stage and in this audience are people who have greatly influenced and inspired us throughout our time at Seoul American High School. We are very fortunate to have spent these last few years under the tutelage of these amazing teachers.
Ooh, it's loud. From lessons on instantaneous velocity and balancing chemical equations to lessons on the dangers of political factions and the importance of understanding the meanings of literary works as a whole. These teachers have been there constantly to challenge us, to guide us, and ultimately to inspire us.
However, their dedication is not solely limited to the classrooms. Our teachers sponsor student organizations, cheer us on at sporting events with insanely loud blue and white clappers, and also write awesome letters of recommendation even though we ask for them at the last minute. Thank you, Mr. Clausen.
Without their patience, their dedication, and their diligence, we would not be on this stage today. On behalf of the class of 2015, I'd like to share this message with the teachers of Seoul American High School. You rock.
However, this recognition would not be complete if we did not highlight the effort and dedication displayed by one very special teacher, the heart of the class of 2015. Please, everyone, let's give a round of applause to our senior sponsor, Coach Boyd.
I'm sure when he volunteered to take this role, he had no clue of the adventure that was in store for him. Although we met our bumps in the road, Coach was always there to take on the next challenge and to ensure that the needs and wants of our class were always met.
Coach Boyd, we'd like to present you this small token of appreciation in order to thank you for always keeping our ducks in a row and guiding us through our senior year.
Will all the teachers please stand so that the parents and 2015 graduates can give you the recognition that you all deserve? Traditionally, graduation has always been a time to think about the future, that proverbial road that lies ahead. In a few weeks, many of us will be going our separate ways. In the military community, we mean that quite literally.
Although we are looking ahead, we must also remember that it is important to look back on where we've come from, or most importantly, who we've come from. To all the parents out there, this one's for you.
Thank you for investing in us, not only financially, even though those college apps were pretty expensive, but also emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It takes loving and selfless people to be able to put so much of themselves into another person. And even though we'll never be able to truly return the sacrifice and kindness they have constantly given us, we want you to know that your undying passion will always run deep. Your love for us withstands time, age, and wrongdoings, and for that, we are eternally grateful.
Thank you for believing in us, guiding us, and shaping us into the young men and women we have become. Your seeds of encouragement have been planted in each and every one of us and have already started to bloom. At this time, we would like to thank these very special moms who have spent their last few weeks eating, sleeping, and breathing graduation in preparation for this joyous day. Without their leadership and unrelenting dedication, we would not be where we are today. When I call your name, please stand. Mrs. Suhita, Mrs. Taylor, Mrs. Leftridge, and Mrs. Dunleavy. Please give these wonderful women a round of applause. Woo!
As we close this chapter of our life and open a new one, we'd like to thank our parents for their sacrifice, their discipline, and most importantly, their love.
Please welcome to the podium our Assistant Principal, Ms. Erin Grazak, for the presentation of diplomas.
Good afternoon. I am proud to announce that after careful review of transcripts, these young people before you have met the criteria as outlined by Advanced Ed, the nation's largest accreditation agency. Furthermore, these young men and women either meet or exceed the standards prescribed by the Department of Defense school system. I am here to attest that all information is correct and recorded on all official school transcripts. Ms. Rice, you may now present the diplomas. Hoke Young Adkins. Jenny Augustine. Lue Ahmed. Christian On. Sophia Aldridge. Jung On. Jeremy Arrington. Amber Arnold. John Beck. Jack Barnes. Archarya Brahmanyana. Did I get it? Did I say it right? Stand by. Deldrick Bratcher. Zinzi Cabbage Stock. Joe John Ryan Cabrera. Rhea Campbell. Austin Carter. Justina Chang. Jenny Che. David Choi. Nicholas Choi. Michelle Chong. Jisoo Chung. Cassandra Cochran. Danny Cole. Kaylin Cook. Sebastian Cribbs. Sarah Crivelli. David Davison. Kayla Foytno. Dennis French. Brandy Givens. Michael Gladney. Kylene Greenfield. Jacqueline Groman. Brenda Guzman. Kimberly Hamilton. David Hahn. Matthew Harding. Sharon Hara. Jasmine Harris. Deborah Hart. Daniel Haywood. Addison Heckrell. Khalil Hicks. Sean Horn. Rachel Houston. Christopher Hyde. Tanishiana Jarvis. Matthew Jefferson. Christine Jin. Tristan Johnson. Livy Jones. Trisha May Jose. Sally Kamai. Angela Keffer. Barbara Kempton. Bobby Kim. Esther Kim. Philip Krigbaum. Jack Lamoureux. Gyumin Lee. Haley Leftridge. Jose Marrero. Audrey Martin. Mariah Meredith. Joseph Min. Hannah Morris. Sean Naughton. Abno Negron. Justice Nicholas. Warren Nieto. Yasmin Pagan. Joseph Pock Bliznek. Esther Park. Jennifer Park. Andrew Payne. Joab Ramos. Noni Reynolds. Jihei Rhodes. Aileen Rivera. Cheyenne Roberts. Harmony Roberts. Megan Rogelstadt. June Ruiz. Keisha Runcie. James Scott. Jalen Scott. Christian Scruggs. Angel Smith. Charlie Smith. Jungmin Smith. Gina Spillman. Michaela Stark. Robert Stenson. Genevieve Suhita. Courtney Taylor. Tony Taylor. Mario Thorpes. Lance Tiburcio. Jordan Tullett. Sophia Umar. An Vu. April Weaver. Maxwell Weekly. Rachel Wirtz. Benjamin West. Angela Williams. Thomas Kim. Daniel Salazar. Connie Rose Barnes. David Nevereth. Glenisha Berryman. Joshua Rebel. Mara Brown.
Graduating from high school is a milestone in students' lives. They are to be credited and praised for their hard work. This graduating ceremony also represents a milestone in the parents' lives. Could we have a round of applause, one more, for our hardworking parents who are raising such fine young men and women? Okay, seniors, this is the moment you've been waiting for. On behalf of the Department of Defense Education Activity and its director, Mr. Thomas Brady, the Department of Defense Education Activity Pacific and its director, Dr. Linda Curtis, along with the Korea District and its superintendent, Dr. Judith Allen, I have reviewed and certified your official school transcripts and now have the honor and privilege to announce that you, as members of the class of 2015, are now graduates of Seoul American High School. You may now turn your tassels.
Wow. Can we give the class of 2015 another round of applause? I would like to let you know that what I'm about to say, I mean it truly from the bottom of my heart. It is an honor to be able to stand in front of you all today. It's been such a long road, and it's surreal to be standing at the end of it. Before I start, I would like to say that due to certain circumstances, there are a few of our classmates who aren't able to be on this stage today, but have worked just as hard as the rest of us and deserve recognition. Can we please give them a round of applause? There's a very tan English teacher who's looking at me right now who once told me to captivate an audience by telling a story. So here goes nothing. One of my favorite memories this year was getting accepted into college. Whenever I'd receive the good news, I'd do two things. I'd call my parents, then I would add myself to every Facebook page that college had. So you can imagine my excitement when I finally chose the school I was going to go to, East Carolina University. Go Pirates! So when I found that out, I really added myself to every Facebook page. So right now, I'm a member of ECU Football, ECU Student Government, and ECU Salsa Dancing Club. Somewhere in my adding frenzy, I came across the story of Trey Cook. Trey is a member of the university's Honors College, and in his story, they describe Trey as the type of person that you see on first sight, and you know that he radiates positive vibes. You see him, and you look at him, and you speak to him, and you know that he is an inherently good person. And what I found most interesting about Trey is that he closed all of his emails with the following closing: most gratefully. And when asked why, he simply said, I have a lot to be grateful for. That answer resonated with me because I too have a lot to be grateful for. Without the love and support of my God, my family, and my friends, I would not be here today. So that article got me thinking about some of the things that I'm grateful for, like the days spent listening to the hot, slick fire of Delgado, and the night spent stuffing my face, at Hong's Bar in Myeongdong. I am grateful for that one time we all lost our voice at the hypest homecoming ever, and that other time when we brought home the gold at that gut-wrenching Powder Puff final. I don't care what the freshmen say. I am grateful for Mr. Clausen's gold chains, Coach Boyd's infectious laughter, Sharon's fingers, Khalil's dancing. I'm thankful for my OG senior class officers. But most importantly, I am most grateful to have been given the opportunity to lead the greatest class to ever walk the hallways of Seoul American High School. A few months ago, someone asked me what made this school year so special. Why was it so different from the others? At first, I thought it was because of Ms. Wirtz's new spirit wear designs, because they looked really nice. Or maybe I thought it was because I'm a senior and I'm just enjoying the perks of being a senior. But then I realized that this year was only great because my class was great. Ooh. Anyway, if anybody would have asked me to do this again, I would tell them no. Not because it wasn't fun or anything, or not because it was a lot of work, but because I know that if I were to ever do this again, it wouldn't nearly be as fun nor as memorable. Because the bond that I share with these people on the stage, it's unparalleled. It can't be matched. And although this weekend, and probably for the next couple weekends, our social media feeds will be filled with pictures of stateside graduations, I find great comfort in knowing that the camaraderie exemplified in those pictures can never match the camaraderie exemplified on this stage. Whew. Yeah. Where was I at? I would just like to say thank you to my mom, my dad, my family and friends. And I would just like to say to my classmates, even though we're heading our separate directions and we're going our separate ways, I know that deep within us, we'll remember this beautiful country as our home, this supportive community as our family. And as we head our separate ways, I ask that you cherish the experiences that we've created together, cherish the people you've met, cherish the moments like these, for they are what make us unique. Classmates, I just have one last thing to say to you. It's been real, and I'm so glad that you let me lead you here. And before I go, I would just like to leave you with a little something special. My officers, can we please stand up?
How we do it. This is how we do it. La 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 la. Oh, la, la, oh. This is how we do it. La, la, la. This is how we do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side.